Hello, my name is Greg Story. I'm the president of Dale Carnegie Training here in Japan. For the last 3.5 years, I've been doing a weekly podcast called The Leadership Japan series. And in that podcast, I look at different leadership issues. I talk about how to lead sales teams, how to do presentations, all that type of thing. And my listeners have reached out to me and said, you know what, it'd be great to have things for the practitioner of sales, not the leader of the sales team necessarily, but what about the people who are actually out there doing the sales as part of the sales team? So I've decided to create a specific podcast just for salespeople. It's called The Sales Japan series. So obviously this is focused on how to sell into Japan if you're based outside of Japan, or if you're living here, how to sell here in Japan to clients. So in this podcast, we cover a broad range of subjects, but we also go very, very deep. And of course, we look at before the sale, what sort of preparation you need to do to be in a good position to have a good conversation with the client when you meet them, how to get that appointment, all that type of thing. When we meet them, how to build trust, how to build credibility with the buyer when they don't really know you. There's not a lot of relationship built yet. So how do we start to get off to a good footing, good trust build, good credibility build, so we can have a fruitful conversation? Then how do we design good questions to try and really understand the client need? This is a real science, and it's not complex, but it's got some steps to it, but you've got to know what you're doing, and the design really makes a difference. You can ask mediocre questions, you can ask really brilliant questions. We look at the brilliant question part. And having gotten the information out from the client, what they're really trying to achieve, where they want to go, then we look at how do we present our solution. So there are different ways of presenting the solution. We've got a very, very good procedure for that, and I think it's quite differentiated. I don't know anybody else that's going to this degree of sophistication with presenting the solution. So in the podcast we talk about that, and then sometimes clients are a bit doubtful, maybe a bit hesitant, not sure about this. Maybe they might have some objections. How do we handle those? So we go through all the different ways of dealing with those sorts of issues. Plus, how do we close it out? How do we get them to commit? How do we get them to commit today? How do we get them to buy today? We go through that. And then after the sale, what happens? Yes, we get the commitment. Then what happens? What do we need to do? And also the things we definitely should not be doing in a sales call. So this is for salespeople, the Sales Japan series, released every week on Tuesday, midnight, Tokyo time. So Tuesday, midnight, Tokyo time on iTunes. If you subscribe, it'll pop into your phone or your iPad or whatever you've got as part of your download of the different podcasts you have. They're probably about roughly about say 10 minutes long. So they're not massively long, take up a lot of time, but they're rich. They're rich in detail, they're rich in experience. And so listen to these, stimulate your mind, listen to them on the way to go and see the client. This will help you a lot. And so this, I think, will be very helpful for practitioners, I should say, and also for sales leaders too, because you've got to train people, you've got to lead people. So there's rich information in there for the sales leaders as well. But it's particularly aimed for people in the field doing the actual selling. So I'd like to see the whole professionalism of sales go up here in Japan, and I'd like to be part of that process, and I'm really hoping that you'll get value from these podcasts. So please go to iTunes, subscribe, and take your sales career up.